It's a lame-duck government. It won't work. It's just rhetoric. Their own party won't allow this, and this is a problem with our government. It's not governing.
Won't that be even more embarrassing, Steve? And by the way, I do think yours is a very fair observation. If they can't even get it past their own MPs, also similar, of course, to the welfare reform, isn't that even more embarrassing for them, Steve?
Well, it's been an embarrassment since day one, because at the end of the day, all they're doing, they're not governing, they're reacting to polls, and it's ridiculous, because once this gets thrown out, Starmer is positioned, her position, Mahmood's position, it's going to be untenable. The Labour Party is just tearing itself to pieces, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a prediction. This government will not see its full term. There will be a no confidence vote before very, very long, because everyone is just sick to death of all this. They get up in the morning and their policies are akin to the headlines of the newspapers.
Steve, thank you. It's incredible to think, was it 17 months ago, they came in with such a whopping majority, and here we are. And I think at the very least, most people accept, if the local elections go so badly next year, as it is predicted, there will certainly be a challenge to Starmer. Sir Keir as it is. Is Hailsham being torn apart by illegal immigration? Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it is.
And how does that show itself, sir?
Yeah, because of this hatred towards migrants and attacks and all those hostilities, everything going on. Stricter measures to migration is actually beneficial for migrants, people living here in Britain, because that can stop, bring down most of this hatred and hostility. At the moment, all these frustrations are coming against migrants is because the migration is uncontrolled for the last 4 or 5 years.
But how does that affect your daily life, sir?
Yes, it is, because, it's putting pressure on everything in the country, for NHS, for other public...
So do you think, and I hope you're not, but if you had to, or someone you know had to go to hospital, say, today, you think the A&E, in part, the delay is because of so many people arriving in the country? Is that what you'd say, Ahmed?
Yes, because it would definitely put pressure on NHS and GPs everywhere, and all the public services, because too much people here and too much problems because of that.
Okay.
So that need to be stopped. And the best way is stop offering. I'm not supporting 20 years. Stop offering permanent settlement and British citizenship. That's what I am advocating for.
I just want to ask you some questions. You don't have to answer any of the following questions. I'm just interested. Were you born here, sir?
No.
And might I ask where you came from?
India.
And why did you choose to come and settle here, or was it your parents came here?
No, I came with my sponsorship. So the only entry here should be with a sponsorship, with a work visa, who can contribute to the society and to the treasury. If you are not contributing, you shouldn't be allowed here.
But sir,
even
how are we going... A student is not going to contribute, obviously. He or she is. So are you saying we wouldn't allow students in? Because that would destroy half of the university business. No,
students can come here. They can pay their fees. After they finish their studies, they can go back.
So as someone...
They shouldn't be staying here.
Okay, so someone who arrived here legally, and I assume you enjoy the country, which is why you stayed here, and it's a pleasure to speak to you. When you see people making those boat crossings, thousands of people making those illegal crossings, how do you feel towards them?
Yeah, they are, 90% of them are abusing the system.
Yes.
I am sure that there will be 10% who must be genuine, but 90% who are young adults who are coming here crossing because they want to be here. This is exactly financial migration.
Do you know, lastly, and thank you for being so candid on this, do you know the expression soft touch? Do you know what that means, a soft touch?
No.
Okay, so is it too easy to get into this country? Are people playing us for fools?
Yes, it is too easy, and there are people abusing it. And trust me, the message that is spreading across the world is, you go to Britain, you step on British soil, the government will take care of you. And
how do you know that's that's the message that's spreading around the world, Ahmed?
Yeah, that's why these people are spending their 20 grand, 30 grand and risking their life crossing with the boats, coming on any other way, because they know that as soon as they touch, they are safe. Government is here to give you accommodation, to give you food, everything. You don't get this in any of other countries. You go to Middle East, the police will come and arrest you. Next hour, you are back in your country in another plane. So, British government need to be tough. And I think only reform can do that.
I was just going to say, how interesting. I was going to say, do you think Labour can achieve it? So you don't think it is, Ahmed, and you'd be a reform
No, this is not tougher enough.
Not far
It
enough.
should be tougher than that, yeah. So I think only reform can do that.
A conversation that I've had with people who are of all different faiths, colours, religion, because the point is that we all have to pay for it, no matter what colour we are.
But how is
if we live in this country?
How is Camden being? And I use the Home Secretary's words. How is Camden being torn apart? To put it in the past tense.
Well, so Camden is multicultural, and obviously, you know, we live alongside one another, and we rub along okay. I think that.
Do you enjoy living in
the
multicultural London?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody brings something to the party, but does it mean that I think that we should have open borders with no control? No. Absolutely not.
No,
and neither would my friends or the people that I speak to of all different faiths. I think everybody is fed up with it, and I think if there are Labour MPs who are thinking of trying to frustrate anything that the government's trying to put through to improve things, they're absolutely mad, because I would consider myself to be very moderate on this topic, but actually even now I'm getting fed up, and I see it more so, Nick, if I may, in the rural areas. I have friends of mine who live in rural areas. They're in the forces, so this kind of segues into what you were talking about in terms of help for veterans.
Yes.
They have lived in military accommodation where there has been mould on the ceilings, you know, the windows have been poor, you know, there's been all sorts of problems, never been fixed.
That's not the fault of the people arriving here, by the way. I just want to get that point out there.
It's not, Nick, but let me
I know where you're going to go.
No,
you're very valid what you say. No, go ahead. Yep.
But let me make the point. So what has happened under the Conservative government is obviously we've had to take in a lot of Afghan refugees, and that's been obviously because, yes, absolutely, but more so let's just focus on the Afghan, the Ukrainians. Absolutely, I totally get, and it's not one rule for one and one rule for the other because it's based on skin colour. I'm just using this as because this is the knowledge that I have. So basically, the government have gone through a huge, expensive refit of all of the military housing. I've seen it myself when I visited friends. A huge refit of military housing. Specifically for these Afghan families. Now, that's not to say that they should be living in mouldy bedrooms or anything like that.
You can only spend £1 once. The reality is you can only spend £1 once.
Absolutely, but the rules need to be the same for everyone. And the problem is the optics of it. People see that. People live in these rural areas, and what they're seeing is that they're seeing people coming from different cultures, different faiths, and on the most part they're very respectful. But on some occasions,
so
when you see them sort of within the community, not so much. Yeah. And you know that is driving people to, you know, go the way that they're going. And if we carry on like this, we will end up with reform, and that will not be a good outcome for us. I'm sorry.
Jane, thank you. I think all the points you made are very valid. Let's stress, of course, it's not the fault of those people queuing in Calais even today that we have such shocking accommodation for our military. But, as I often say, you can only spend £1 once.